Hello, everybody. Welcome to It's a Long Story, a thrice weekly campaigns set in the beautiful, wonderful world of Imea. We are here with our amazing Friday crew, the Unearthed Arcanum. Everybody, take a good look. Take any look you want at the camera. Wave and say hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Ooh, I just saw Clinton's look. That was Clinton did the schmexy look. I love it.
Nice.
Hot. Okay.
I'll take that
yes.
inspiration.
Yes. Also take that inspiration, please. Welcome. So a couple of things just going into stuff for tonight. Before I forget, first and foremost, most important thing tonight, we have a birthday to celebrate. I always think it's the opposite of what I think. Okay, cool. So everybody take a look at Io/Dan and say happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Shangarquila.
Fantastic. Dan, please take that birthday inspiration to do so with how you please. Awesome. So there is that. I'm actually now going to turn down the music a little bit. Moving forward to our stuff before we get into things tonight, just a couple of announcements up top. One, for those of you who have not seen our Candela Obscura sort of 3-shot called a play test, but setting in our homebrew setting of the turn of the century 1901 in Massachusetts. Please go check that out. It's under Candela Obscura if you're watching this on YouTube, which I assume you are. It is in that sort of playlist. Most likely it is the first 3 videos. Also, if you're watching this right now or in the close future, we are opening a Candela Obscura as a new playable game. So specifically Shadows of the North Shore, as a new playable game that will be coming up as soon as we get those people filled in. So if you're interested in playing in that world, or if you have any questions on that, I will be sending I'll be putting something in the live chat of giving kind of the list of that game, and then also another game, as we will be adding a fourth there's the camera campaign to our beloved Imeans. So we will have the 4th campaign will be titled Tales of Imea, the Islands, going through what is south of South Imea. Very excited to get that going, but we need people, we need players. So if you're interested, again, also in joining, that is like good old-fashioned D&D, running through 5e with some small little changes here and there. But if you're a fan of this stream, it is legitimately you'll just be playing in that same world. So that I will also leave as a comment in the live chat as well. And I think that's it. Guys, anything else before we do a recap? Else we can think of? No? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So before we begin tonight, I feel like it's been a little bit. Did we miss last week?
We
Yes.
It's been 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay, great. Cool. Awesome.
Well, I missed you.
Oh.
Yes, I missed you as well. I missed all of you guys.
did.
But mostly Dan.
Mostly Dan.
Understandable.
Mostly Mitch, who's been MIA for so long.
I know. Yeah.
Wait,
Man,
I was
sure.
sure.
Welcome back to the
before
campaign.
last.
You were.
Hurricane
Cool.
survivor.
So, let's go ahead and jump in. Yeah, jeez. Let's go ahead and jump into our stuff tonight. So I believe, if I recall correctly, Evan, you're doing the recap. Is that correct?
Sure am. Yeah.
Awesome.
You ready?
Cool. I am ready. Go for it, sir.
All right. So last time we all woke up at the Hummel Branch after our traumatic but ultimately hopefully helpful journey into Alistair's cognitive plane. Siobhan started to deal with the aftermath of her experiences there with the immediate help and empathy of Nalani, followed shortly by Io and Gwen. Alistair tried to reassure and be kind, while his inner selves started to mend their relationship and maybe get to know each other a little bit. We all stayed a little while at the branch, where we consecutively struck out, trying to interact with Brucelli in various ways, be it asking for a way to the Feywilds or awkwardly skirting the edges of other more dangerous propositions. Eventually, one of us, the one trying to process some horrible experiences, actually managed to read the room and get us headed out, just as Brucelli tried to subtly indicate that there was an unwelcome presence watching us within the room. So then we failed dramatically at a luck roll, leaving the building and ending up at a place that went from like, whoa, what is that, to nope, we're out in about a minute. And we all left that and went back into Brucelli's, stopped to annoy them one more time, and then left again, back out to Celeste. About 24 hours after we arrived to the city 3 months ago in real time. We were approached by the sheriff and questioned, and Alistair let his emotional side take over and handle things for the first time. And then Yori and Siobhan, with Siobhan acting as Yori's mother, kind of went with a slightly different plan than Alistair and Io, and just Yori kind of told a mostly incoherent story, letting out a lot of overstimulated kid energy, while Siobhan played the part of a stressed single mom, eventually leading them to be able to leave the sheriff probably a lot more confused than when they entered. Everyone meets back up at the inn. Gwyn saves Fenrir from the woolly interests of Winona, who had been just, I guess, kind of amicably going along for the ride. And I mentioned it shortly, but Yori was uncharacteristically withdrawn after the sheriff scene. And then Siobhan decides that the best thing to do before attempting a long rest was to use the mask and go scry on the most dangerous person she could think of, Ymir. And she finds Ymir in the company of another being who seems subservient to, who he seems subservient to, and who he calls my liege, and who has Maeve and is doing something with or to her that they find even more important than the life or service of Ymir. Ymir looks right at the scrying eyes of Siobhan and wags a finger, walking away, and Siobhan pours all of herself into the mask to try and get a look at this new enemy who has her daughter. Through the fog, she sees an unnatural throne risen from stone, veined in vine and bone, and sees the pale feet, thin legs, black flowing garment, and long black nails of the thing that has her daughter, gently stroking her daughter's face. Turns towards Siobhan, who sees a masked figure shaking its head, and she is forcibly pushed away from the vision, and she wakes up. And that's where we're at.
Got it. Very cool. Awesome.
Sorry if that was a bit long.
No,
Raise
that was
the bar.
Beautiful,
Fantastic.
Oof.
It helps if you write it beforehand.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
Pro tip. I'm very aware of that as a DM. That sometimes it helps if you know what you're about to say. Speaking of, let's get into the night. So I'm going to pull back a little bit. Normally, a lot of times that I'll kind of like start to kind of push ourselves forward into a space, maybe just a bit after in the scene that we left off on. In this case, we're going to actually jump right in from the exact moment that Siobhan pulls away, comes to. Just as a small recap of going into this actual scene, Siobhan, for the rest of you, you're seeing the rest of you are seeing Siobhan putting this mask on, and the eyes that you see from her all of a sudden just go a staunch white. As you can tell that she is no longer conscious on this plane, so to speak. She's kind of just in another world. So as you're watching this, I'll say, is there anything that's going on? Because this is going to take probably about a solid maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Is there anything that's going on while this is happening? And if not, it's not a huge deal. I'm just giving that opening.
I think just intensely watching Siobhan for any sort of distress that obviously she needs help or anything like that. Just keeping an eye on her.
Yeah, I think I can just hand this over to Kiki. I think Siobhan, during this scene, do you imagine that your body is being affected in any way in this?
No, because her mind wasn't affected. Had that being actually gotten the opportunity to attack her, yes, definitely. But Mask pulled her out.
Cool, awesome, great.
I think Nolani wants to kind of observe the room and notice in particular, is Io still tracking water in his steps?
I think Io has his feet planted on the ground, but as you look, I'm not going to have you even roll for this. As you look at the possible steps that have trailed in here, you do see, yes, you see that there are small little, kind of like just tiny puddles.
If I may, since it wasn't super important, Io would have been actually pacing in this moment because he didn't really want Siobhan to go into another potentially dangerous situation, so he's pacing while looking at her. So if there are puddles still forming, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you see like I think also she's not good at this, so I don't think there's even a role that needs to be involved. But I will say, I believe, Nolani, you said that you're focusing on Io.
So,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, per the last session, I basically lured her down into a laying position on the bed. Two things I would be doing. Number one is the mass magic, and if it is, I wouldn't take my eyes off it to see if I can figure out how it works. So I would be 10 inches away from her face. And then the other thing I would do is, without looking, tell Yori, Io, and Nolani to check the windows, check the doors. We're expecting company. That was something. There were people in town. So,
okay.
Did we just above board? Did we or did we not set up Tiny Hut? Are we inside Tiny Hut?
Like
I know
We set up Tiny Hut.
We set up Tiny Hut.
Did we?
Okay.
Okay.
We did.
Yeah. Because he wouldn't let Siobhan go in unless she was in Tiny Hut.
Right.
Yep. Okay. But
okay. Cool.
It eventually comes down.
Actually,
I don't want to get hurt.
Cool. All right. So as you all are focusing on specific things, I'm going to say that I'm going to give this to Yori then. Yori, you notice Winona trying to kind of inch away from the group, seemingly probably like kind of like moving towards the door. I'd say probably trying to be. It depends on how you look at it, either like quiet or sneaky, or just, you're not really sure if it's like intentionally sneaky or just trying to make less noise as like to not bring attention to her. I'll say it doesn't look like she's trying to bring attention to herself.
Okay, and she's like trying to sneak toward the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna keep an eye on her. Like if she tries to leave, I'll probably actually just get up and follow. Though at that point, I'll see what happens. If she's actually trying to get out the door, that's one thing. If she's just kind of going a little bit closer,
yeah, she's moving towards the door.
Yeah,
she's moving towards the door for sure. So you're wanting to follow her as she walks out the door.
If she walks out the door, yeah, I think he might do it a little bit, or at least try to do it a little bit in a way that's not as noticeable. I mean, people are going to notice if he gets up, but if they're focused on Siobhan, then, he's either going to try and follow a little bit without making noise, or if people are looking at him, just sort of, get up and stretch and try to, make it a casual walking around or walking, to the door or something like that, either way.
You got it. I mean, just borrowing from the Candela game system on this. This is fairly low stakes. There's not a lot that's like going to be happening here on this. So, but I will also say this is a fairly small room. So either person leaving, I think you guys could possibly notice if you think you would notice it, right? So like for Alistair, I imagine probably not, as Alistair is intently paying attention to Siobhan. Nalani intently paying attention to Io. I'm not sure, right? But we'll say this because you're taking the action to do so. She does. She walks out of the room and goes down the hallway. Just I'd say probably to like the next door, which just happens to be one of one that you guys have. Opens the door and walks in. You see her. I'll say. I'm not even gonna give you really like a stealth check on this because she can't see very well. I think there's but she is going to try to close the door behind. So if you wanted to try to slip in behind her or do anything with that, you could.
Yeah, I think I'll try to do that, especially because I know that she doesn't see very well. I'm trying to make sure, kind of behind without, her noticing slip in right as she goes in. Yeah. So,
you got it. Okay, go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
Okay. 17. Cool. Just as a note, I'm not currently wearing my armor. That's why I don't have disadvantage on it.
Okay, great. She rolled in that one. Okay, so that's good. I think there's a point where you kind of slip through as she's turning to face your direction, and you like go straight down to like army crawl on the ground, and you see her like pushing the door closed on your body. These are how these doors work, and eventually, I say with a third push, you're able to slip through, but each time
my legs up and around.
Yeah. I want this. This is so like mediocre to the scene that's happening right now, but I really want an animated version of this, of just Winona slamming the, in not very hard, but like
I have to try to stifle a little noise.
Yeah. Cool. We'll say let's say for the sake of brevity, we're in Nalani and Io's room in this. She is not. She's kind of just standing in the middle of the room, and you hear her. So you're in the room with her, so you hear her starting to talk to someone. You hear a. I'm going to say this. Give me a perception check. I gotta allow there to be some chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Got it. That's a nat 1. So,
Okay. You got it. Cool. So say with a nat 1, you miss, because you're right there. Nat 1, you miss the word that she says in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm easily distractible. That's fair.
Yeah. So you hear her. She goes, I know this is a weird thing to say, but I found my Wilbur. He told me he's safe, but I need you to come get me. I'll explain more later. Hope you and the rest are doing okay. That's when I'd say, as you're like trying to kind of keep yourself sort of flat, I'd say you knock over like a goblet that's like on the dresser, and it's kind of like knocks over, and you see her just like, oh.
It's Yori.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You startled me.
Yeah, I'm not. I probably shouldn't have followed you, but I didn't know where you were going, and I wanted to make sure that you were safe. And also, I was curious. Who were you talking to?
Roll a precision check.
All right. $21.
Okay. Yeah.
While you were in the while you guys were like sleeping in that circle, I found a I got a call from Wilbur. He's somewhere else, and he needs me. I need to go somewhere, and I think it's a little further than you guys could take me.
I think we can go pretty far, but I heard you wanted somebody to come pick you up. I just want you. I mean, we don't know you very well, and I know there's been some talk of sacks and stuffing, but if you want our help, I'll help you any way I can. As you've probably seen, we kind of have a lot of our own stuff going on, and if you need to get a ride somewhere else, we'll help you get it. But you're safe here, and we'll help you. I'm glad to hear that your son is okay. And if he needs you, he needs you. But you're free to stay with us as long as you want. And if you need to go somewhere, I don't even know exactly where we're going next. But I think there's a lot of places that we do need to go, and some of them are pretty far. But I just, I don't know how safe you felt or what kind of energy or, feeling you got from the group, but I just wanted you to let you know that. And also, you should know that you really shouldn't wander around here. There's, people who might try to I think, kidnap you, or there's like a whole wombat thing. So, just be careful. And for now, probably best to stick with the group.
Yeah, no, I like you. You know why I like you? First off, I don't have to look up at you, which is nice. So you're like your average height, which is great.
No one's ever called me average height.
I like that you seem to be genuine. I haven't been in this type of world long, but it seems like it's a rarity. At least the places that I've visited.
I grew up in a place that played a lot of games and had a lot of things that seemed one way and then were another way, and I don't like that. So I try not to play any games like that. I'll play other games. I like board games and those, but not.
I love games.
Yeah, just not the kind where people get sad or that you hurt people or that yeah. But other games are great. And thanks.
You see her kind of like she's like looking far up, and she has a lot to say in this moment because you roll really well. So I will say that she also would tell you,
I believe you. I think you're a good boy. You're a good boy.
I'm a boy. Yeah,
How old are you?
I'm 14 and a half.
Oh, okay. Well, but
it's fairy years, so it's stiff. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I'm a boy.
Can I tell you a secret, Yori?
Are you a boy?
What?
It's a different secret. I was guessing, but yeah, you could tell me a secret.
I am 2 in wombat years.
2? Is that?
2.
Wait, how long do wombats live?
Don't tell anybody.
I'm very good at secrets.
If you ask anybody in my grove, I'm old. they don't have a good understanding of like numbers. You ask if they're a girl or a boy, they say I'm a wombat. So I think I'm a girl.
That's fair.
But
I mean,
yeah. Asking as far as who is. Thank you. I truly believe. I truly believe you would bring me wherever I needed to go. And honestly, before I got the call from my son, I thought that I'd be going with you all, and it hopes to eventually get back home. But it seems that I have there are other plans. I believe you in effort. I don't know where I'm going yet, but from what I understand, it is far, and it is not livable conditions for most.
sounds kind of exciting, but I hope you don't get hurt.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to help my son. You know, my son rescued me from a very rough situation months ago, and so it's nice to be able to kind of return the favor. But it's also nice just to know that he's somewhat okay. I don't know. He was weirder than normal.
Are you going to be leaving soon?
I don't know. I haven't gotten a response yet. I don't even know if that worked.
I thought usually when you talk like that, you hear back from somebody.
Yeah,
I think so.
immediately.
I mean, I can't do it very, very far, but when I do it, I can. Yeah, well, they can take. They don't always talk back. Some people just don't talk. But I don't. I'm sure whoever you sent it to heard it, and then maybe it just takes a while. But you could try again sometime. But I'm sure you'll be able to find somebody. And if not, if you know where you're going, we can try to take you there eventually. And in the meantime, we'll try to keep you safe. Also, how old is your son if you're 2? Is he 1?
We should probably get back to the woman that's putting on the mask. Are you guys getting like prepped for like a dance or something?
It's I don't know exactly what. I think she sees people when she wears the mask, and then last time she saw her daughter, she's in the Feywild, so I think we might have to go there, which is not. But we will go there, just like we'll help you if we need to help you. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. No, is she another person that can see in the future?
Can you see in the future? What does another mean?
You seem like a good boy. I have another secret to tell you. Sometimes I can see in the future.
That's really cool. Is that?
Yeah.
So do you know if your son's going to be okay?
Nope.
So it's only some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever see anything like that's going to hit me hard, will you let me know?
Absolutely.
I'll do the same. If I ever see in the future, I'll do the same for you. And
okay.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think usually when she wears that mask, some stuff happens and she doesn't tend to wake up very happy. So, yeah. Will you go back to the room with me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you see her kind of like make a movement towards, there's like an awkward moment because you're in front of the door and then she like kind of like, so yeah, you make it back to the room. As you make it back to the room, I think you are opening the door the second Siobhan's waking up. Okay. So you're seeing most of this, you're just seeing this maybe like a just like a half a second later than everybody else.
Right.
Siobhan,
I do think as you're coming to, there's a level of I don't think it's necessarily like body shakes or whatever, but there's a clear, I think your pulse like picks up. So as you come to, let's go ahead and role play that moment.
She probably immediately goes to sit up and smashes her face into Alistair, whose face is 10 inches away from her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
Take 20 points of bludgeoning damage. Just kidding.
Why?
Are you?
Why?
I wanted to see how the mask worked. Wait, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like he's like feeling your pulse and everything right now. Like
super high.
No. You take
in
a,
yours,
take,
nowhere near us. We're safe from him for now. Unless there's a castle near us. I think that's what we needed to know, right?
I think with her saying that, Io's peering into her. Io's speaking to her telepathically here. You don't feel anyone else in your head at the moment, right?
No.
You guys.
Other than you?
I mean, well, granted, but like I said, I didn't want you to go, but do you think because you know he can follow, right?
He didn't follow.
How can you be sure?
I just know.
Okay. All right. I asked you to trust me. I'm gonna trust you, but we gotta make some kind of preparation next time before. Next time you're going in, I wanna tag along.
I don't know if that's how that works, but sure. You're the smart magic
Won't hurt
people
to at
here,
least
so
try it. I'm just saying it won't hurt to at least try.
mm-hmm.
I can't leave you alone again. That's something that I don't think I can do again.
I don't think that'll be an issue. I'm fine. We just know Mira's not near us now. We need to get the ship and start making our way towards Dare's Wharf. There's a lot we need to do.
Siobhan, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Mm-hmm. What's my modifier? Come on. 5.
5? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Again, low stakes on this, but I think you, Alistair, you're hearing like the calmness in her voice and the level of like, we got exactly what we needed. Everything's okay, right? Let's say if you're still gripping onto her wrist, you're still feeling that pulse very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Was that conversation all through telepathy, or was it out loud at some point?
It would have been all telepathy if Io
like,
kept talking
I
in my
think
head.
Io just
Yeah. That
so I think you're like, as you're responding in your
head.
head, whoever else is asking questions, you're not hearing them.
She's just staring at Io.
Yeah.
yeah.
What is that?
Great.
Yeah.
Snapping. Hey.
I think also
hey.
like as you come in, Winona just yells, "You already had to use the bathroom."
Yep.
Oh.
I had to poop, and Winona needed to be there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the words. What did you have a different one?
No, I was told you can't say poop.
Oh,
That was like the
I
first
can.
thing I was told when I left the Grove.
That's oddly specific.
We poop a lot. Anyways.
As long as you wipe.
What?
For the fur, it's got to be kind of.
Wait, what?
Okay,
Oh.
hey, Siobhan, deep
Yeah,
breaths.
someone please bring us back.
Siobhan, I need you to take some deep breaths.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, I know you are, but your heart is racing. So just a couple of deep breaths, if you could, just for me, just into the nose. Okay, go. There you go. Exhale. Okay. All right. Now, what the fuck did you see?
I just saw a mirror in a castle. I think it was a castle. It was brickwork and dark. Far grander than any estate I've seen.
Nothing else?
No markings to identify where it was. No crest or anything.
What was
But I
he
feel like
doing?
if there was a castle that grand, we'd see it. He was just walking through the halls.
Walking through the halls. Not
In his actual form, so I
Yes.
don't even know if it was on this plane wherever he was. Or he's comfortable wherever he is to be in his actual form.
Does it seem like it's his castle?
Perhaps I wouldn't know how to tell that.
So I'm still holding her wrist. Can I roll an insight check?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
With advantage. With advantage.
I'll give you the advantage because you're holding her to the wrist, but
Yeah.
yeah, because you're also going against Siobhan's deception.
Ooh, I get to roll deception.
Mm-hmm.
Insight a 12.
10.
Ah!
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing.
I rolled super
You
low.
know. So here's what you know, because you don't. For the record, like obviously as players, we know certain things. What you know is that Siobhan is telling the truth, but they're definitely half truths.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm assuming you're still looking at Io, so I am going to reach over and gently like grab your chin so that you face me. If you want us to help, we need to know everything that you saw. Maybe we could identify the area even. What did you hear? Was there anyone else there? I know there's something else that you're not telling us.
I don't know what else to tell you. It was an old castle, dark brick.
Damn it, girl. We've been through this. I'm trusting I'm trusting what Al's picking up. What's the whole truth? You get into these situations, then you nearly get yourself killed, and it doesn't get you anywhere.
I just know we need to get to Dare's Wharf to get whatever supplies we need to get to the Fey Realm. To get my daughter as soon as possible. And I know Amir is not concerned about us right now. Wherever he is, he's far away.
Okay, that's all well and good, but why are you not telling us the bit that you're leaving out? Is it to protect us, or did something happen that you think if you mention something you're going to be in trouble, or it's going to fall back on us?
At that, she looks up to Io.
Okay, if that's the case, either give us the option to opt in or opt out again, or we got to figure out a way to know what you know.
Knowledge is dangerous.
You're damn right it's dangerous, but I mean, at this point, we're all embroiled in it, no matter what. So we might as well just have all the pieces on the table.
Okay. Emir wasn't alone. And what he said was essentially, he's not too worried about coming to kill me because I will surely get myself killed with my past coming back to haunt me. And that he wasn't concerned about you guys because I'll get you guys killed as well.
Well, that sounds like
And
good
maybe
news.
he's right.
He's not worried about us. I mean, he's obviously wrong. Right?
I can eat those words at one point, but more importantly, who'd he say this to? Or is he just doing the traditional fairy tale thing where the villain monologues to himself?
I don't know. I didn't see. The spell focuses you in on whoever you're looking for.
You didn't see anything about this other person? Hear anything?
The way he spoke to him, did it sound like he was talking to an equal or someone beneath him, superior to him?
Knowledge is dangerous, Siobhan, but secrets are worse. At some point, you have to start trusting that we'll take care of ourselves and you. You're not solely responsible for the people in this room.
But I will be if I tell you.
You will be if you don't.
I'm already marked. I'm already playing dangerous games, so don't worry about me. I can worry about myself.
I'll trade you. I mean, there's probably two, likely pretty powerful fairies that are trying to chase me down. Plus all the people from, the slavers, they're probably still after
Can
me
you
and the
describe
list
these
and
fae?
stuff. The fae that are probably after me, my memories are weird of that time, but they look a lot. There's a boy and a girl, and they kind of look like me a little bit, but I guess better looking, more fae looking, more perfect. But they might look different now. It's been a long time. I don't know if they would have aged the same time or way as I do, but when I was first around, they were a lot like me.
The being that Emir spoke to wants me dead, and you guys are collateral damage to that. It's a being that Emir bows before. That kind of power, whatever that thing is, it's way more dangerous than Emir. And it's the one that has my daughter.
All right. I don't really think that changes much about how we approach things. We knew going in that people were going to be after us because we're with you. This just adds one more.
And I'd argue while knowledge is dangerous, knowledge is by its very nature power, if used correctly. And what I mean by that, by us now knowing what we're truly up against, if they wanted to keep themselves secret from us, even if they say they're not concerned about us, if that was really 100% true, I don't know, I'd wager a guess what would be the need for all the subterfuge.
They said they weren't concerned about us before they saw me scrying.
Gods.
All right. That is powerful. This other person saw you scrying, not Amur?
They both saw me. Which is why we need to get out of here. We need to get on a ship. We need to get out of here.
Does seeing someone scrying, does that mean they know where you are?
I don't know. I
That's
don't
fair.
know.
Would Alistair, Io, or I know anything about that from our studies at all?
Good question.
Theoretically, anyway?
Yeah. I think
I mean,
Alistair specifically you would like, because this is probably still in the forefront of your mind.
I mean, I've seen it. No, you can't. You're just aware that someone's watching. You're not aware of where they're watching from.
Yeah.
But Amir's never had trouble finding us before.
Yeah, he knows where we are no matter where
Exactly.
we are or what we do. So
I mean,
probably this other person
you
could as well.
I mean, you and Nene said yourselves back when we were up on that mountain, he found you no problem.
He didn't find us just because we were there.
Please elaborate.
When we were in the cave, and I knew that Wyvern was going to finish us, I thought it would be the perfect time to catch him in the crossfire.
What do you...
What does that mean?
I called him there in hopes that he would die by the Wyvern like us.
And how did you call him?
She's gonna pull out the little rat trap.
I'm assuming this thing is super magical.
Oh yeah. I think there's probably there's probably a level of, because it is fey magic. I think one of the reasons why you haven't noticed it before is because it reflects around the outline of Siobhan normally. But yes, as she pulls it out, you notice there's a very intense glow from it.
You know I'm going to rip that out of your hands and start staring at it without asking.
She's gonna let him, because he's sitting on the bed next to her, but she's not gonna let him do anything that looks like he's gonna break it or throw
I'm
it
just
away.
looking it over. I am looking it over.
I'm going to say, as a DM, I am not prepared for you to accidentally set this thing off. So I'm going to say
no.
you know enough.
No.
You know enough not to do that.
Yeah. No, seriously, I just wanted to look it over and see how it works.
Say, if that's the case, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break, because
He's got to get ready to TPK us.
yeah.
Dory reaches over. Oh, let me see it.
Yeah, right.
I cast firebolt on the rat trap. I don't actually cast firebolt on the rat trap.
That's good. Thank you for saying you don't do that.
She's just gonna be watch him watch the trap and just say, he gave it to me as part of the deal I made that he doesn't hunt you if I hunt Pest and Slagtend.
So while this is happening, Alistair, go give me an investigation check.
Oh, sweet. 13 plus 8, 21.
21. Yeah, the only thing you notice about this thing is that it is primarily like it is just a rat trap. It's about this big. I know we were kind of like, I was very ambiguous about it and then fully lost the concept of what the idea I had for it. So it legitimately looks like a rat trap. One of the things you notice with the 21 is that it looks like it's just like it's spring loaded, like it's that sort of thing. But the springs themselves, as the piece is kind of lifted up into the arm position, the springs themselves are not pulled. There's no tension on the springs right now. I'm going to say that's just the knowledge of that is to say, for some reason, if it got lost in other rat traps.
Right.
Although we have 2 people in the party that would quickly be able to figure it out which one it is anyway. So
yeah. As we've come to town, did we see a blacksmith shop or anything like that as we've been in Celeste?
I would say Celeste for sure does not have a smithy.
Okay. He could potentially be using this to find us.
He was finding us before.
Well, we hadn't really gone that far. But if we could get something to put this in to keep it safe and protect it from various other divinations, it would probably be for the better.
I could bring it to the library.
No.
What do we need to put it in?
Why no?
Lead.
You're not thinking you'd use it, are you?
Oh,
If I can find something with a strong enough leverage to force him to take me to my daughter, yes.
Then I can go get it if we find that.
We
well,
might
lead's
not
pretty
have
easy
time.
to work with. I mean, if you have lead, I could make it into a box. Probably, I have my tools. I made some stuff out of that other stuff we did, where you had me hammer a bunch of metal straight.
Yeah, I'm more worried about finding the lead, but
I don't have. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but if you find some, I can probably make a box.
I think... Sorry.
Have you ever taken anything magical with you to the library before, Gwen?
I think everything I have comes with me, and I leave stuff in there. I can't say what would happen if I brought that in, and I understand if you'd rather have it, if you want to try the lead box first. But it's an option.
I think that's a good place to keep it until we find the lead box.
To snatch it back. No, This may be my only way to leverage.
I know better enough than to try and convince you otherwise. So I'll just be repetitive and remind you that we are all offering to help. You've so far agreed to accept that help, with the caveat that you can just leave us stranded to go do your own thing at any point in time. I don't want to speak for everyone else here, but I don't think we accept those terms any longer.
I don't want to abandon you. I just want to... If my danger... I don't want to be the cause of anyone else's death. Carter already died because of me, and I don't want you guys to.
Well, that seems kind of what's the word for it?
Presumptuous.
Stupid.
Presumptuous.
Arrogant.
Yeah.
Arrogant. I don't think you can be the cause.
That's another good one.
If I die, it'll be because of something that I did, that I chose. You're not going to be the cause of that. To think that you can, that you're to try and hold my life in your hands is not for you to do. Is we make the choice, and I want to rescue your daughter, and whatever happens, that's my choice, and the consequences are mine to deal with. And I hope that if I need help, you guys would do the same.
At this point,
As Yuri
Nalani
says
steps
that- go
back,
ahead.
steps up from the shadows where he's been observing this, and he just says, I don't know that it's arrogance as much as being two-faced. You've demanded honesty from us throughout this whole journey, but you've been anything but honest and forthright. And you put us in danger when you make rash decisions based on selfish needs without consulting the group, like putting on the mask and exposing our whereabouts, or using the rat trap at any moment based on your own decision and not the group's. Yet you talk about being worried about our safety. And then steps back into the shadow.
All right, then. Does anybody else need to poop before we go to sleep?
Yeah, we have been.
You
I mean,
see- Winona will always raise her hand.
she is, just woke up from something and had some trouble, and we're kind of all surrounding her and asking a lot of questions. Siobhan, if you need some space and you want to tell us things another time or talk about it, I just hope that you'll talk to us. But if you need some space right now, I mean, I am fairly sure I broke several ribs and have not slept since we were in Alistair's brain. So we could probably always use a rest if we could sleep.
And another
I
thing
just
to
don't know.
add to everything else everybody else has said, you already told us the win condition of Emmy and this other thing. If you die, they win. Stop putting yourself in a position where they can win. Now, as you were saying,
I just don't know how to keep people safe while fighting alongside them. That's not something I've done.
That's not really for you to do entirely. It's for all of us to do. I'd hope by now you realize you're not in this alone. Let us carry our own burdens that way.
I know. But it still feels like it, and I don't know how to shake that feeling.
Well, we're going to be here either way, so I think Yori's right. I think we get some rest, take some space. And we won't do anything about that trap until you want to. But I'd hope that you would do the same. At least consult us. So that we're prepared.
and if that trap do become a liability, we won't hesitate to break it. Or at least I won't hesitate to break it.
I think we could say that about a lot of things, Io. And I'm going to look down at his book.
Okay, that's fair.
Not trying to blame you, Siobhan, or make you feel guilty, or put this all on you. But we're here for a reason. I am, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And you've trusted us enough to share your history. So trust us enough to take care of ourselves and you as you take care of us. I know, it's a work in progress. We'll get there.
I'll try.
I think as you all leave and move to your areas,
I think, are we
staying in this room?
Yeah, we're staying together in the hut.
Right. Yeah, we're just about to go through that.
Yeah.
So, you're all staying in the same room?
We're in
that's what
we're inside tiny hut in this room, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
So space is 7 people in a 10-foot square.
Yeah.
Yep. We're dogpiling on top of each other. We're getting very close.
We're getting space
it's tight.
in a 10-foot square.
It's tight. And I don't think it's the tiny hut space I was worried about as much as the room space. Because there's a because I don't think tiny hut can actually make walls bigger than they are. So I'll say the tiny hut is the size of the room that you're in.
Yeah.
But interesting. Okay, cool, awesome. Do you? There is. It's up to you guys here on this. Does anyone take some time alone after this conversation? Now I'm gonna say, like, there's nothing I'm gonna do here that's gonna be like, cool, you're dead. Like, I'm not gonna do that, right? But it does make sense that, like, this is an intense conversation and there's stuff to think about and dwell on. So if anyone wants to do that, they can.
Siobhan's definitely gonna take some time alone.
Okay, cool. Clinton, you raised your hand too. We'll start with Clinton. Start with Alistair. Excuse me.
That's fine.
Emerging broken.
Well, I can't leave the room or it breaks the tiny hut. So
Sure.
I was gonna say anyways. I'm gonna sleep under the bed.
You just pull up your hoodie.
Under the bed.
Yeah, no, I think he slides underneath the bed. Seriously.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna, and we do not have to roleplay this out. I think I'll, have a quick chat with other Alistair about just generally how we could work together, and I think he'll come out of it and start taking his leg brace off, and start trying to etch some runes or some glyphs or something magical onto the leg brace, so that other Alistair can manifest that way and maybe help be able to move when needed.
Okay, cool. I'll say there's because we don't need to necessarily RP that moment. There's a lot of concern from other Alistair in this on the idea, because anytime you're feeling the physical pain, he's probably feeling the emotional pain. So he's probably urging caution of just like it's essentially being the person in the physical training that's like, we're going to take it one day at a time, like, sort of thing. Cool. Siobhan, how do you take this moment to dwell?
Well, I think she would try to go out to the washroom if they'll let her leave alone.
Gwen would just look up at her and say, do you mind if Houston goes? If anything happens, he can let me know, but he won't pry.
Houston's fine.
So she'll send the little owl to just connect with her if anything does happen. But I'm not spying on her or anything like that.
Yeah, she's just gonna go and wash her face and try to come down from the stressful situation.
As you're in the washroom, there's kind of like a small sort of wooden mirror here. You notice there's a like a kind of like a hand towel that kind of like hangs above the door as you walk in, and this is olden time a little bit, so it's like a communal hand towel, so it's something that you use and then you just kind of leave there on there. You see as you the kind of a classic scene of like you're looking at yourself in the mirror, You go splash water in your face, and then you see the hand towel itself start to just make a and it just moves slightly.
Neve?
You see Neve kind of perch up on the sink, appear in front of you, and is like kind of like maneuvering through, like kind of like looking at you in a very like. I was like, give me a sense roll. Just kidding. Give me a stuck in Kindle again. Give me a
Perception?
religion check.
Oh. Oh, natural 20.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. I'll say it's funny. You called for Neve, and Neve did appear in this room, but you don't think Neve is the one that moved that towel.
Huh.
I think with a nat, sorry, you rolled a nat 20. So with a nat 20, you get the feeling that the thing that pulled you back isn't done with you yet, but you have to welcome it.
She's gonna lock the door if there's a lock on the door. I don't know. And then just stare into the mirror.
Okay.
And shift into herself. And just open her heart up to Mask and see if he is going to come to her.
Got it. As you shift into yourself, you see a version of yourself in the mirror with the same, I think, version that you normally see as the mask of Mask, like a very like Phantom of the Opera sort of style, but it goes over both sides of the face and actually comes out into like almost like a crown. But you see it's on your face, and it seems to. You get the feeling, you're not getting any words, but you get the feeling that it's opening up to you in a way of feeling like, and actually I'll say with a nat 20, you notice that the walls of this washroom, the echo of this like small room, which I think Siobhan with her like crazy perception is noticing, even in a small room, you're able to recognize like the sound bouncing off the walls. You hear it move as if it's distant, almost like the sound of like a water drop in a very in like a big tub, like this. Every sound, every shift, it sounds like I'll say with that nat 20, it sounds like you are actually in a space that is muted from the rest of the world as well.
Come to me if you have something to tell me. What am I doing wrong? What's the next step? I don't understand.
You look at yourself in the mirror and you see your form change into Alina, Alistair's mom. You see her appear in the mirrors. It's okay. I'm here. I know you're dealing with a lot of stuff right now, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm here if you have questions. I'll always be here. You see, she's got like she puts an oven mitt to her heart. She makes that motion out to you. So.
I don't know how to keep them safe while keeping them by my side.
You see the figures shift into Tamur in his natural form. Apologies, in his orcish form. As you see the kind of like dark green scarred face. Keeping loved ones safe is hard. But you got a good group. Seems like they might be able to take care of themselves. At least enough to trust them.
Emir and that thing seem to think tracking down my past will do me. And if they're with me, that means they are doomed as well. I think we need to go to Dare's Wharf. I need to try to close that chapter of my life so that if I ever rescue my daughter, she can live safe and grow up without that shadow looming over her, but we're talking about taking on so much more.
Shifts into Collis. Yeah, you know what I say to that? I say, fuck that. Because the reality is, like, there might be something that's coming for you and attacking you and trying to push their power over you, but you got something that they don't have. You have potential for more power. I wasn't here a couple days ago. Now I am. You have people in your corner. It's gonna be hard. And there might be some things that I cannot protect you from.
Who was that you pushed me away from? What was that?
You see the figure shift again, this time into Daphne. That was a being of a realm far darker than this. I don't think there's really any reason to tell you any more than that for now.
If you can name the evil, you don't need to fear it.
You see the figure shift one more time. This time you see a slightly broad-shouldered, I believe, blonde, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. You see your husband, Carter. One second, sorry. You see first a warm smile. Hey.
Hi.
I know you know this isn't me.
I know. It's just still hard to see you. Him. Hard to see him.
I figured if you really wanted to know the answer to this, this would be the best form for me to take for it. It's up to you.
Yes. It's what took him, yes.
She goes by many names. It's not someone that I can... It's not someone that I can see even through the realms very often, but I know of her power. They often refer to her as the Queen of Air and Darkness. I've heard her name mentioned once before, a name that most likely she would at least perk her ears up to, but I do not recommend saying this name to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Talisanya. I'll send it in the chat.
Okay.
Our daughter, excuse me, your daughter is in a dangerous place, but it seems, as I've seen the same things you've seen, it seems that she is safe for now. I know that's little comfort for you, but it's enough to say that that potential, that added strength that you will receive, it'll be enough eventually.
She's in the Feywilds, isn't she?
Yes. She's of the Violet Court, otherwise known as the Unseelie. I don't know what she wants with... I don't know what she wants with Maeve. But imagining your heritage might be a factor.
I don't know my heritage. I was an orphan. Wait. If she wants my heritage, I could trade for her. Surely she'd want me. Even if I could just produce more of my blood for her, if I can get my daughter out.
The children I have, I would do anything for. So I understand your reasoning for this. I believe there's time before that decision needs to be made.
I've already lost so much time. She was only 3 when I left, when I lost her, and now she's almost 7, perhaps? She's grown so much.
Time works differently in the Feywilds. I will reach out and do what I can. I am not in the habit of giving away secrets, so trust me when I say if there is someone who comes to you that bears my mark, they might not know the details, but they are there to help.
Of course. Thank you.
You're welcome. As I've said, I have many children, one of which has seemed to have a heart that is very open to you. A mild concern at this point, but something that I think you should know. My understanding, he used the mask in a different way this past few hours.
He was the one watching us in the humble branch.
I did what I could to keep that from being a possibility moving forward. His intentions are pure, but he has a different task that I've set for him.
Yes.
It'd be best for now if you didn't contact him.
I don't intend to. There's enough danger on me. I don't need to pull more into my shadow.
He's been running from danger longer than you.
Let's not add to
Yes.
it.
It's not. You see the figure shift from Carter back to yourself with the mask on. And you hear just that same... The voices change from the voices of the people that you've seen. But this last one you hear, it sounds very much like your own, as it says, "I'll be watching," and just shifts and just kind of like fades away. And that you feel the like kind of force field of the room sort of like come back up.
Remind me, DM.
Yes.
Someone got a book about the Violet Court here.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know that? I don't remember if I know that.
I don't know. I do know someone has a Violet Court book. I don't remember even know who it is. I think it might be
I think
Alistair.
Gwen got it in the library, right?
Oh, Gwen ignored it in the library to read a book about fairy tales.
Oh, okay. I guess
Oh,
I
okay.
thought you grabbed it. You didn't?
I don't. Let me look. I'll find it in my notes. Hold on.
Cool. We'll say,
So I thought somebody
if you don't
grabbed a
find it,
book.
I'll check that session.
Okay. Give me a minute.
But as that's
I don't think
happening,
she would have told me about that anyways, so.
probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, probably not in passing.
I didn't note down that I grabbed it,
Okay, you got it.
but I had been.
We'll say
finding something anyway, so.
for now, we'll assume that you didn't. I will try to check back and make absolutely sure.
It was back in April. I have it highlighted in my book, but I don't have it highlighted that I took it with me.
So yeah, Siobhan, do you do anything else before you rejoin the group?
She's gonna give Neve a little bit of rations. And then just welcome Neve to join them back in the tiny hut. Oh, Neve can't come in the tiny hut because she wasn't there when it was made.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she was invisible. We don't know.
Oh, maybe she was. Actually, that's true. She might have been there.
She wasn't actually in there, but I will say that there's probably a little so the hut kind of takes up the whole room, probably except for like one corner where there's like a little like sort of bubble where she just like kind of sits on top and just like rests on the top of it, just staring at you all. Very like Cheshire Cat style. Cheshire, right?
Cheshire?
Cheshire.
Something like that. Yeah, Cheshire.
Cheshire.
Great motto.
Is it Cheshire? Okay. Yeah. Evan, you're muted, bud. Or I can't hear you.
What I said was very important. Don't worry about it.
Cool. So this is before everybody's going to sleep. Is there anything anyone else would like to do before that happens? Obviously, Gwen.
Yeah, Gwen's going to do something when everybody's asleep. But
Okay.
she'd wait until everybody's asleep to go.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Anything else?
Is there a window in the room?
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a window,
I was gonna say.
Oh, go ahead. You first. You first.
You're good. You're good. If it's possible, I think Io's either hanging his feet outside of the tiny hut, or he's pointing his feet like towards the opening, and then using shape water to like push it out, so everybody doesn't have to deal with a soggy sleeping arrangement. As he
Okay.
probably has his book on his lap.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say, like, your the way this thing works is that when you walk, you like water comes from your feet, but it's not like it's not like it's ever flowing.
Spring fountain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise,
I thought it was-
every single time you were at a long rest, it would be just an ocean. You would just like wake up in.
Obviously, he left his bed.
Good point.
Don't
Okay.
judge him for it.
But do you do that?
Sorry. We're in a bathroom mood tonight, I guess.
Love it.
Right. But yeah, I think probably with the in that case, like the water that was already there, he probably shaped it, froze it, and pushed it out the hut, and has his book on his lap.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, so your feet are in the hut and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to mention that Yori's really not comfortable sleeping in an enclosed space, especially that enclosed. So if there's a window and it's big enough, he's not super big anyway. He would kind of sit in the window, kind of resting in the sill, kind of to try and sleep, just like, so he's a little bit
Very
outside, but a little bit inside. And, yeah. There's a lot of that energy
Love
there.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. You hear the occasional as
Comforting.
Fenrir just like kind of like looks up at you for a long time, just confused as you were just like just looking straight up at you. Cool. All right. So you all drift off to sleep in your various ways, except for Gwen. So we're going to start with Gwen.
Yeah. I think before we drift off, she would go over to Nalani and ask him if when he's done with his rest, he would watch her book while she goes in.
Yeah, actually, Nalani offers to do it right now.
Okay. Thank you. I don't like it just being out. So that helps. And so she would take out the book, look at the rest. Are the rest of you, are you probably still awake at this point? If we're doing it at the beginning of the long rest?
I think you just see people drifting off.
Yeah.
I think Yori's asleep just because it's an adorable space. So
Yeah.
Also.
So you just see her sort of evaporate into inky smoke and head into the book.
Okay.
And then once she's in the library space, she's just going to take a few minutes, have a complete breakdown, and then pull herself together.
As you appear and that you open the book, you start writing in it. You see the eyes, and you just allow yourself. Actually, how does that manifest? Do you feel like you put your hand in a book, or you write something, or do you think
I
you just
think
like
that how
let yourself
we've
go?
done it in the past, and what I like is I think it's kind of like she starts writing the journal entry sort of thing, just starts recording what she's doing, and as this happens, like first her hand, and then her arms, and then her whole body just sort of like slide into the pen.
You got it. Shifts in, the pen just kind of falls to the side. It actually falls into like the crease in the book.
Yeah, the crease in the book.
The book itself shuts. Maybe a little bit louder than normal, just as a snap at Nalani.
Yeah.
Okay. As we maneuver into this place, it's a little bit creepier than I wanted, but
that's all right.
We're
can
having
say
a couple
it
music
her
problems.
mood.
Yeah. You come to a very familiar place. You see the books are the bookcases are lined in a background all around you, going up and up and up and up, past further than the eye can see. You see stained glass windows depicting storybook-like characters. You see Beatty in this moment, as you're like having that breakdown. Beatty is nowhere to be found.
She doesn't really expect him to be there every time she goes into the book either. So
well, he'd be there every time. Actually, it's just it's more of like, I think there's a couple times where you've noticed like he's possibly in another hallway or something.
Yeah. He doesn't just sit by the fire waiting for her.
Correct.
Yeah. So yes, eventually she would pull herself together, prestidigitation away any signs of tears and whatever. And then thinking back to the very brief description and the fact that, because she does remember the book that she passed up before because it was very strange, I have notes that she didn't know, even though she could read it, didn't know what language like it was written in, which was weird.
Okay.
So she would take the time, cast comprehend languages, and then go look specifically for that book because it is the one that she remembers being about the Fae, and that seems to be our most pressing issue right now.
Okay. Which book was this? Can you remind me?
It was the Violet Court.
Oh, so you did have it.
I didn't take it with me, but she did see it, and I remember
so you're looking to see if it's here.
If it's still here and around.
Gotcha.
Where it was before.
Okay, cool. We'll say, how do you imagine the search goes for you? There's countless books in here.
Yeah,
how do you imagine that this process
I
starts?
imagine that Beatty, being who they are, there is a sort of card catalog available. It is a library,
just
so there
old
would
school,
be one there.
like,
old school card
yep.
catalog. So she would just start searching. She would first go to where she remembers seeing it, which was on one of the shelves right around where she typically sits and reads, I think. Because she saw it even with her very bad passive insight. So, or
you saw
perception.
it in here?
In the library, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I think you look there, you don't see it. So I think you go to the like card catalog and you pull out the little slot that says V, and you pull out and you see it just jettisons out across the entire room. You can see it's like magically enhanced, where it's elongated for 400 feet, we'll say. Like it's extremely long. You take a deep sigh as you start to kind of like look through it. As you do so, you feel a small presence kind of descending from, legitimately descending from on high, as you see the entity that is the librarian descend down. You see the owl-like face, or sorry, the owl face, extending hands out, reading through several books. You see hands are flipping pages of books that are floating in the air as he comes down to, or as they come down to rest, standing in the middle of the room. Gwenbedaeth.
Hi. And she's still
Hello.
looking through. There was a book here last time. The Violet Court. Is it still here? I don't really know how that works sometimes.
I apologize. Are you still a patron of mine?
It's been like less than a week since she was here before, so she's just going to give him a look and say, this isn't the only place where time can be weird. I came as soon as I could. I'm sorry.
See, we've talked about that word, Miss whatever your last name, Gwen. Apologies don't do any good here. Results is all I ask. It's been some time. Yes, the book is here. Do you have any information for me to catalog?
Where do you want me to start? And she's just going to info dump on him, starting from, I think the last time she was here was when we were still on the road. So she's going to start with what she thinks would be more interesting for him, which would be the fact that there is this entity that can just decide where it wants to be at any time. And she would very briefly go over the Alistair stuff, just in a more, you might find this interesting sort of way, about how minds work. She, for once, is actually trying not to be too personal about it.
Okay. He rolled an insight check, but got really low, so he does not, or excuse me, they do not really perceive anything other than what you're saying on it. Interesting. So, as you climbed into the mind of this Alistair, it's been done before, but it's been some time. What did we find there?
We found, start to understand why you only want facts.
Yes.
They're much easier to deal with, but they're not. They don't always line up with the truth.
The old truth is perception game.
Yeah. And can be different.
That is.
Depending who you talk to.
You truly don't really believe that, Gwen, do you?
starting to.
Well, apparently, we need to spend more time together.
Truth
is
can be
this book?
subjective.
Truth to mortals, yes. Absolutely. Having a limited timeline is something that is taxing on anything involving knowledge. If you know that you're going to die someday, you cut corners, make mistakes. Is that what you mean by perception of truth? Or the subjective?
I guess in a way. But also, two people can look at the same fact and come away with a different understanding. Because facts are only as good as the information you've taken in from the world to make sense of them.
If I believed that, I wouldn't have built this. What book are you looking for?
We're dealing with powerful fae. I don't know a lot. But there was a book here last time called The Violet Court, and it's probably the place to start.
I'm familiar with the tome. Unfortunately, I believe it is in a space in this library that may be currently off limits to you now. Roll an insight check if you'd like.
Natural 20.
Ooh, okay. Jesus. All right.
So
Nat
18.
20 and a god. You got it. Okay.
But
yeah.
natural
Okay,
20.
Nat 20. You got it. Nat 20, he is definitely not himself as far as like, well, he is and he isn't. Or excuse me, they are and they aren't. They're the level of omnipotence to Beatty, to the librarian, has brought a sincere amount of arrogance for as long as you've known them, and with that arrogance comes a level of in their mind you're their student, right? So for what you're saying, regardless of how Gwyn believes it or not, what you're saying goes directly against the whole concept of what the librarian believes. They wouldn't come out and say like, I'm mad at you right now. They would do this.
All right. So she's going to slide the card catalog back in, turn towards him. And he doesn't like apologies, so she's not going to do that. But she will say, when I first met you, you offered me something that was far beyond anything that I had anticipated. I do appreciate the fact that that deal works both ways. And recently I have not held up my end of things as we'd been accustomed to in the past. I can't promise that I can come as often as I did before, but I will make an effort to not let so much time pass on my side of things. What you've offered me here is more than I think a lot of people would ever dream of, and I don't take it lightly. But I am trying to follow what you'd like and what you've asked of me, and that is to experience the world and bring you back information. And sometimes that's going to take a little bit longer than either of us would like. So if there's something that you would like me to do, I will try and do my very best to fulfill my end of things. My aunt always said the best apology is changed behavior, so that's what I will try to accomplish for you, for us, for this, for everything.
Gwen Bedaeth, how did we meet?
I picked up a book on a shelf, and there you were. I was at a very low point, overwhelmed, wanting to do everything, and just not knowing how to do that. And you offered me a way.
Do you remember where this was and where you were going?
It was in the library at the Ludus, just before I was heading out into the world.
There was a place that you were assigned to.
Marakaba.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you seen many tomes of Marakaba in this library?
No.
Gwen Bedaeth, do you know of any god that would look at their connection to a mortal as anything more than servanthood?
No.
Do you feel that from me?
I never really had before. Not truly.
My understanding on history is that if you want your subjects to be doing something for you, the carrot is usually much better than the stick. That being said, you have left most things that I would be interested in to go and save your friend. I understood. You all have feelings and emotions, and there are things that time pushes forward and makes difficult for you. You could say that I don't have that ailment, but I also do not have that luxury. You work for me until you do not. If you would like to
end this deal at any time, we can. I do not like being talked to as if I am an equal. As if you are my equal. I will not strike you down. I will not end your existence from the plains. But please note that this is a concern of mine.
I understand. But I would also like to just say that if I hadn't left, I never would have found that there was another obelisk. So I do think there's benefits to following this path. And I know that it will take me back to where I'm meant to be. With the knowledge to give you what you want once I'm there.
This group you're traveling with better be interesting. Otherwise, I'm missing out on my gathered research.
I think I can say with very high confidence that this group, if it's anything, is interesting.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Come on. This is her deal. Ooh, 16 plus 8 is 24.
24. Gwyn Bedaeth, when you give me a little bit of what I want, I will give you what you want. Until then, you have the library, but there are certain places that are off limits. Do we understand each other?
Yeah, we understand each other.
Good. Any other being in this instance would take this moment to like, I proved my point, I'm gonna walk away, I'm gonna go away. He doesn't. He just stays there and just looks down at his book and stays in that center sort of room where you're at.
Yeah, she will find a table and she is going to take out all of her notes and actually start basically writing the most detailed and factual, like almost in a malicious compliance sort of way, but not
Absolutely.
But not in a way where she isn't taking it seriously. Just more in a, all right, this is what you want. You might regret it, but here you go. sort of way.
You got it. Please roll me a perception check as you're doing that.
There it is. 0.
Okay, cool. For anyone watching, that is, I assume, a nat 1 minus
No, it's
1?
a 2 minus 2.
Oh, a 2 minus 2. That's right. Yes.
Yep.
Love it. Amazing. God, love you, Gwen.
She's the best.
Cool. I will say with a 0, just because you gotta at least know that you're missing something. You hear this speech in your mind as you're here. This like warbled sort of, as you like stop for a second and kind of like listen. You hear it even more distant as it just feels like it's kind of like pushing away. I think in the level of like full on the like principal of the, or I don't even think it's the principal, it was like a teacher, right? In the like breakfast club level, you look over at Beatty, who is looking over at you, like in a clear like
continue like that, like
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
you hear like it sounded like something or someone was trying to contact you.
Okay, very cool. She's focused on this report though, so
You got it. Okay, cool. I will say, mechanically speaking, for this time, the time that you spend here is doing that. I will say if there's anything else you would like to look into, you can. Unfortunately, the Violet Court book is closed off in a very, I'd say at least for Gwen's like perspective, like this was heavy. You've never seen this from BD.
Yeah,
you kind of get the feeling that like. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think she's not going to push her luck right now, and she's going to show that yes, she understands the letter of the deal and changed behavior, right? So she will focus on the report, specifically for the time that she's in here.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's first off, we've said this before off camera, but that is the gross part about being a DM is having to play that character.
That's great.
But that's really what that is. There's a space where Gwen has played around with BD in a like
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like come on, we're buds, we're friends, and I think it's something that's like just come to a head with him or excuse me, with them where they're feeling a sense of you do not take this seriously, and this is my livelihood.
Yep, it makes entire sense, and I love it.
Cool. Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to look into in this library as you're here?
I
Clinton
think she
looked like
would
he's trying to say something.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot she does want to, but right now, along with wanting to like writing this report kind of out of a spite, look, I can really do it sort of way, she doesn't want to push past what he's accepting right now. So I think she'll wait to look into anything else.
Okay. Got it. I think the end of this experience is you handing over that book or that journal. So we'll kind of just play that as the like kind of like last scene of this. Do you imagine you're writing it because you could manifest your journal here
on a meta level, kind of like the captain's logs from Star Trek.
Okay. You got it.
So just sort of like like that, but she has specifically focused on like relevancy to historical facts, to information about the world that she's found out that's new to her, possibly to him too, how it might draw back to like, especially she goes back to like the time we were with Evenvox's people and starts to draw some parallels towards what they found in Morakaba and how it could be in other places. It's just very graduate student level stuff.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay.
That I'm too tired to really come up
no,
with.
It's absolutely. Yeah. It's bad roleplay, but no. So as you send that information, you have that information. He takes it.
There is one thing I think she would do, before she goes, is we've said before that the stuff that she has with her does come with her. So she's going to reach into her bag and pull out the shard of I can't say it, we're calling it TBD. Diminuum.
Diminuum, yeah.
Diminuum. And just say, this is the sort of thing that I'm hoping to find more of in our journeys.
Takes it, looks at it. His hand gets like excuse me, their hand gets smaller as it moves closer to you, takes it, and you see as their hand pulls back, the hand gets bigger, but the item gets smaller. So it eventually is just holding it like this. Yes, I'm quite familiar. Something in this time period that you're in is in short supply, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Hands it back to you.
She'll put it back in her bag and just say, I'll do better.
I've been thinking the mind of your friend those experiments have happened countless times over millenniums. The percentage of them being successful in anything but catastrophic failure is very low, about 37%.
Like I said, the group I'm with, very interesting.
It is interesting.
I don't know that he or any of us could have done that alone.
Perhaps he'd be willing to make that experiment again at some point for reasons far beyond the collecting emotions. Could prove useful.
I think there's very little Alistair wouldn't do in the pursuit of magical advancement.
I'm not going to say this. It's too mean. Yeah, because you've done
Say
your
it.
penance in his mind. In his mind, I was kidding. Nope, I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
You gotta do
Say
it.
You have full
All right.
permission from the table.
Yeah, okay, fine. They look at you and go, if only I was on their bookshelf.
Well, you get me instead. And I'll try to make it
Yeah.
worth your while.
You'll do fine. Good luck, Gwyn, and as always, stay alive, please.
I'll try my best.
You feel the room kind of reverberate into a fog, and you find yourself being pulled out into the into the book, and then out into the room that you're in. Say as you come out, you see Nalani is I assume kind of just like pressed up against the wall in the shadow of this area here, just kind of like watching you as you're kind of like locking eyes. We'll say, before you say anything, we're gonna take a 10-minute break. See you guys in 10 minutes.
All right.
All right, we are back. So yes, so for the record, I made a mistake because I, unlike the deities I play in this game, am human. So it is not Talisania for many different reasons. The person that was the name that was sent to you, Siobhan, was Morgos, as the Queen of Air and Darkness. Okay. As you're coming back, I did want to open the space for roleplay of Gwyn kind of coming back, unless there was if there was anything. If not, we will totally move on.
Yeah, I think Nalani, I think you would definitely notice that she doesn't seem as. I think the last time you saw her when she came out of the book, she looked like energetic and, just refreshed and stuff. She looks a little pale and withdrawn. Hard to tell because she's red, but a little bit less vibrant than usual when she comes out.
Are you okay? Did everything go okay in there?
I think it went as okay as it could have. I'm okay. It's complicated, I guess.
Seems like things are very complicated these days.
Pretty much across the board. How are you doing? Feel like you haven't said much lately.
I think I'm just watching for now.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot to watch, so it's good to know that you've got our backs. I couldn't find out anything when I was in there, so I'll have to go back another time. More frequently, I think, than I have been.
Well, let me know any way I can help you.
It helps knowing that you were watching out here, so thanks. You should get some rest.
So I know you don't really sleep, so while I'm resting, do you mind keeping an eye on Siobhan?
Yeah, that was my plan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Small point of order, because I would say, Alana, you definitely don't have to roll for this, as it was as you were kind of paying attention to her this entire, or paying attention. Well, no, you didn't see her. Never mind. Forget it.
Forget everything.
Forget it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think Gwen positions herself sort of equidistant between Alistair and Siobhan, and for the rest of the time just sort of splits her attention between the two of them while everybody sleeps.
It's pretty easy. I'm on the bed and he's under the bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of you being in between us. It sounds fun.
Yes, it does. Sounds fun. So she's just
It's a Gwen.
Yeah.
Gwen sandwich.
Gwen sandwich. Let's write the fanfic. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go.
Yeah. Alistair. Jeez. Jeez. Moving on. Alistair. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh god, dude. Wisdom saving 11 plus 1, 12.
12. Okay. Okay, you got it. Enjoy your sleep. Io. As your mind drifts off, you don't feel yourself necessarily falling asleep. What you feel a sense of sinking. It's oddly comforting, but what you perceive in a very limited fashion, it's kind of like you're kind of going in and out. You perceive in between that kind of like dreamlike state to reality, or kind of this weird sort of in between point. You feel yourself sink through the floor into what is a dark, just a lack of light. You feel yourself kind of drift downward, deeper. For anyone that would be looking at you in this moment, you're fully asleep. As you sink down, you start to notice very light, like the blackness that's all around you starts to move. You feel like you can hear the occasional far off like bubble. Bloop, bloop, bloop. You feel your backside touch down to a hard surface. You feel your hands you feel your hands almost being held by this seaweed-like substance that's like you're falling very gently, but it's almost as if it's like trying to catch your fall. As you lay on the ground, there's a part of you where your mind shifts completely over into this moment. And your eyes open. You see the same scene you had seen about a week ago now. You notice it is probably a little darker down here than you first remember. There's a heavy sense of pressure here that you probably didn't notice before. And you see what little plant life that can exist down here is just moving in what you now perceive to be water. You're at the bottom of the ocean. You lift your chest up, looking around. You take a big, it's up to you. Do you take a big deep breath in?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay.
Just instinctively.
As you take that breath in, you actually feel the water enter your mouth and go down, and there's a moment where you start to kind of choke a little bit as you kind of cough and sputter, but I'll say, actually, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Oh. Let's actually have the character sheet up while we do that. Okay. That is a 9.
Okay. That's 1. As you lift your body up, you feel the choking, the sputtering. You see the ocean floor seeming to react in your irritation, turning to emergency, turning to drowning. You feel the plant life seem to almost like they don't like move from their space from their where they're planted in, but you feel the reeds of the seaweed start to move across your face and go into your mouth. Do you fight this?
Oh, of course. I think first reaction would be to try to tear him out.
Got it. You tear them out easily at first as you feel more of them start to come in. I need you to give me another Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That time it is a 16.
16.
Oh no, 17. 17. 17.
17. You got it. With a 17, what actually happens in this moment is that you go to try to tear away again, and you feel the other, you feel the, like a heavier, harder, kind of like a grittier sort of piece of plant life that kind of resembles a dark coral. It seems to grow quickly around your hands and then starts to pull them apart, pulling them back from you, keeping you from being able to pull the seaweed out of your mouth and getting it away. As it starts to pull your mouth open from the sides, keeping you from being able to hold any breath in. You continue to choke as you see the mouth of this giant cave seem to almost kind of shimmer into existence. You see a head of a familiar figure that you know. Second mission, okay. You can see it kind of shifting inside of the cave. It's not really coming out, but it does come right to the mouth and turns to look at you with its one giant blue eye.
Welcome back.
As you're coughing and sputtering, there's a moment where you feel yourself having to let go. And as you do so, you feel your lungs fill with that water. And whether it's surprise or maybe annoyed defiance, you feel yourself being able to now breathe. You feel the weeds pull themselves out from the back of your throat, move out past you. You feel yourself kind of gasp as they come out. And you can respond to your patron.
Yeah, thank you very much for the hospitality. Was the point of that, show of force, or just a sick joke?
Merely an understanding to let go and let me take care of the tide.
Odd way to do a lesson, but
You come before me less pathetic, little one. I wonder if that was of your own doing.
what, are you talking about your previous little project, Midas?
Most of my followers, I care not to know their names. But I believe it is the one that I took out with the tide.
With all due respect, great other, I know we're your servants, or whatever you want to call it, but we're still people. Some care to your followers wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't call myself a follower per se, more of a patron. And I am grateful to what you've given me, but when you told me you wanted me to help find weapons, is this what you mean? I'm to seek out your other followers, pick them off one by one, and I gain whatever it is you gave them?
You gain only what I choose to give, and how I choose to give it. You have a choice, but I insist you choose wisely.
Okay. Otherwise, I end up like, this follower of yours? Were they a good servant, or were they so poor at their job that that's why he ended up losing pretty much everything he had? Did he choose wisely? Is what I'm asking.
He chose to snivel and rot on the land. I allow him to walk on, as I allow you. You show great promise, but don't dare to assume that you are the hero of this story. There are many before you who did the same and met a very shallow end.
Duly noted. So, I take it you didn't call me down here for a social call. I can give you a little bit more detail. That situation, I'm not exactly killing people who don't deserve it. So, yeah, the first time he attacked me, so I decided to respond in kind. But when we got a chance to do a do-over, thought there might be another option.
Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Okay. You fall out the thing, but that insight check is an 11.
Okay. You hear him kind of like shifting behind the mouth of this cave. You've never seen his entire body before, so you're not entirely sure how big this massive creature is. But you do know what the mouth of the cave looks like, and even further in, and you can hear the sound of like rocks, like, and the underwater sort of sound of rocks kind of like breaking and cracking inside, as you hear him shifting. But
If you choose not to be the warrior I asked for, I won't send you to others, but I will send them to you. So, what is your choice, little one?
Whatever's most mutually beneficial to us. I said I don't want to be the one to strike the first blow. But if they make a choice that's not the right one for them, I can't help the choices that might follow. But just know, I'll try and see if I can win them over.
Mutually beneficial. I will let them come to you, and we'll see how you win anything. Go to the northernmost rock of Celeste. There, you will learn my name
And at this, you feel the pieces of coral that still have your hands and your arms kind of tied. You feel them break, and as they break off, you actually hear this sort of like this small little scream, as if I'd actually like you to roll me it's your choice, either a history check or an insight check.
Okay. We're gonna go insight again. Oh wow. That is a nat 1, so total of 5.
Okay. You got it. The nat one, you're not really. You do have inspiration.
Actually,
you.
That's
Birthday
a good
inspiration.
point. I actually think this is a good time to use it too. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. New numbers 17.
Cool. Much better. As you hear that breaking sound and the scream, it's more of a like it's a sound that I don't think Io's really ever heard before. It is humanoid. It's the sound of great pain past anything that I think Io's ever heard, definitely experienced. And with a 17, he said this was insight, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a 17, you get the feeling that you do not want to look behind you at what this truly was. But it is your choice.
Okay, one quick second. We're looking.
Okay. You can't help yourself as you peek behind you at that sound. That sounded distant in a way, but as you look, you see there are excuse me, you see there are the coral itself is it's almost black. It's like a blackened red. As you see, there's like this small bit of blue light kind of pass around it. You see it's extended out from a source that looks very familiar. You see the torso of a figure, the legs seemingly either under the ground or somewhere else. And you see the one of the hands, one of the arms kind of just outstretched and broken off at the forearms. And the other seems to be some sort of deep red protrusion coming out of the chest of what you know to be Midas. Looking at the face, you see a gaunt expression, jaw slightly ajar. You know that this figure, in the idea of where you are, has to be dead. And looks not alive. But putting that scream together, you get the feeling that there is he was alive somewhere.
I think Io is very much. Okay.
Nope, I was just gonna say you get the feeling that there is this is the fate if you fail.
Mm.
That's it. Is there anything Io does before this ends?
The last thing that was in his mind was he was going to probably reach out and try and see if he could ask more questions. But I think after seeing that, all other thoughts probably disappeared.
Okay. So I would say, yeah, you could. I'll tell you what. If you want to just type in the chat to me, I'll make sure that you find a way to find answers to this post. Most likely.
Okay.
You kind of just told him at this point, like, yeah, I'm going to do what you're asking me to do. I'm going to do it my way, and he's showing you the result of that. Actually, he's not even showing you. It is just clear to you.
Right.
So, as you are untethered from the seagrass that is here, you feel yourself kind of rising upward. The eye, just kind of at the mouth of the cave, just it's somewhat pupilless. You feel like you might see like just the slightest gray in the center, but it does seem to kind of just follow you as you ascend up. And I will say, actually, I need to do one more thing here. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, wow. You're kidding me. Another nat 1.
You awaken in the middle of the night, sputtering, gasping for breath. Not sure if you wake up any of the others, but you cannot, no matter how much you try, go back to sleep. You take 1 level of exhaustion.
That's fair.
Body.
With that, morning eventually comes. As you all awaken, I think you notice Io, slight bags under the eyes, just seemingly maybe, I don't know. Io, if you want to tell me where you are, I'm fully aware that Gwyn, you would notice Io kind of sputtering and coming awake, but I'll say that most likely to move things along, most likely kind of like maybe kind of shoes any sort of questions that you ask.
I think he was just like, if he could position himself at the, like, seeing out the window, looking towards the sea, that's what he was doing the whole rest of the night.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I think Gwen would sort of just look over at him, and Dan, feel free to add to this, but I feel like they both just have this unspoken moment of warlock to warlock heaviness. I think she can recognize in his eyes exactly what she's feeling herself right now, but I don't think they need to talk about it. They just sort of have this connection moment of, what the hell have we done, sort of thing.
Yeah. Not to blow the immersion, but just the like fucking patrons, am I right?
Fucking
like
patrons.
And Siobhan's like, should have been a cleric.
Should have been a cleric.
Hey, look, your god can take your powers at any time too.
It's true.
But,
it's true.
Oh boy.
Amazing.
Alistair's
with
over there in the corner like, just be just magic.
Yeah, just be magic. Everything's fine. Just be magic. Cool. So, let's say everybody gets a long rest except for Io. As you all awaken, Io, you were told you were given the phrase of like, go visit the northernmost rock of Celeste to learn my name. That was also what Gorm? Is that what
Worm.
Gorm. That also seemed to connect as the place that Gorm had mentioned.
Yeah.
So,
Which I think was on our schedule for the day.
Yeah.
We get a vote.
So there's a there's a lot of things we want to handle in a relatively short amount of time, but we'll see how far we get with them. So as you wake up, you feel it is a bright, sunshiny day. You do know that there is still a concern as far as Winona is. But as far as the murder that you could have possibly been charged for, you feel kind of like you're in the clear.
Except for Kelvin's in town.
Yeah, so you also know, Siobhan, that there's someone that's looking for you. But it's up to you guys as far as whatever you want to do.
I think we definitely need to go to the stone.
Yeah, I was gonna say on a meta level, we're gonna have Dan for a little bit.
Yeah, we need to go.
So
yeah, because we're gonna
either
lose
we
Dan.
finish up and wait, or sorry, this
We
is
need
a player
we
level,
need a
not
ship,
a
don't we?
character level.
Do we need to like go somewhere to
Yeah, but
at least book one?
player level, we're talking about like we want to get that part done.
Right, and Daphne was trying to hook you up with someone.
Okay, so as long as that's a sort of in motion is, I guess.
Yeah, Daphne's
because
yeah,
you usually
last
can't just go to
time-
the dock and go like, all right, who's gonna take me?
Yeah, last time we hit, like, Daphne had a whole conversation with someone who was who basically the end of that was like, yeah, the captain's on their way. It's going to be a couple days.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool then. Yeah.
This is that day, just for the record. That's the end. This is the end of that day.
Yeah, so rock
End
and
of the
ship.
conversation day. So we have a couple days to accomplish stuff.
No.
This is the day the
this
ship is
the
arriving.
day.
Ship is arriving. Understood.
The ship is. I'll be honest. Just get straight. The ship is here. The captain isn't. But the captain is arriving to.
Right. Okay.
Rock
So we
ship.
should go do the stone.
Okay, we got it. So as you guys head out, you see Daphne at the bar, just like kind of just pushing a chair in from a table and just kind of looks at you and goes, "Hey, man, some of you look like you've seen better days. I've heard that you're kind of in the clear for stuff mentioned, but why does everybody look this way?"
We just have a very busy day today. And good morning. How are you doing with everything?
I'm good. Our captain should be arriving at some point today, so hopefully they're
Okay, I that sounds great. But I asked about you. Are you seem you've been through a lot as well. Are you doing okay? And
yeah, I'm doing okay. It's well, we're also supposed to be getting the shipment in for the alcohol that was well, that is not here. So yeah, so back to, I guess, business as usual, at least for. Listen, I didn't really come out right out and ask this, but I have some business in Dares Wharf too. Is there any chance I could join you guys?
I mean, I feel like we all assumed you were coming with us anyways.
Oh. Whew, okay, great. Just for the ship ride. After that, I'm out. Have some.
We are actually going to be heading off shortly to see a rock. Io wants to visit. Or I was wondering if you could answer a question for me, as well as maybe run an errand for me.
Okay.
I've found myself woefully underprepared for the adventures that we've been having. I'm not exactly. Do you know where I could get some like?
Fully looks past you at this point to like Siobhan or anyone else that's around. Like, what the fuck is going on?
In her Kara form, she's actually watching Daphne really closely because she said she has business in Dare's Wharf and she wants to ask about that. But
Okay,
she's gonna let him stumble on his ass
looks at
first.
Kara, who is not giving her anything, and just looks further on past to Gwen. Maybe
if she
Or
looks at
Yori,
Yori's just gonna go, "We all slept together." Maybe that's why we're tired. It's hard to sleep if you sleep all together.
Gotta be a better way to say that, Yori.
If Daphne looks at Gwen, I think Gwen is just like, who is this Alistair asking how somebody is? But then he asked for a favor, and she's like, okay, there's regular Alistair again.
Well, there was that, but then he also went like, I'm woefully underprepared. He's also he's negging himself.
Like, Gwen is having a do not compute moment, so unfortunately Daphne does not
you're just
get
matching
any
her.
help.
He's getting
from
nothing.
her. Nothing at all.
Okay. I think looks at Nalani at a certain point and they're just like, forget it. All right. Wow, okay.
So like maybe some like leather, or I don't really have time to make my own, but something
Leather
similar
armor.
like something similar to maybe what Nalani is wearing, but
yeah, okay.
nicer.
Nicer. Okay. Well, there we go. Go ahead and roll me a. I'm gonna say roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
With advantage, 8 plus 0. 8.
8. You got it. I'll say that's just for the result of what you're getting. You're nailing it, but like the result is yeah. Yeah, I just we don't really have like a smithy here, and my mother has some leather, but I don't know if it's. I can ask her. I'll ask.
Okay, that would be great. Have you heard from your sister at all?
Why?
To be completely honest with you, I've run out of things to talk about, but it seemed like the conversation should continue.
Yeah, I'm curious about what business you have in Dare's Wharf. She's gonna say, like, kind of awkwardly looking sideways at Alistair.
Sorry, I just had a flashback to me in an actual dating situation of like, that is exactly how I would think in my head. Like,
yeah,
feels like the conversation is supposed to keep going, but I truly don't know what to say. So good. Sorry. what did Carl want?
What business does Daphne have in Dare's Wharf?
So you're trying to perceive this?
No, she asked that. What business do you have in Dare's Wharf?
I think she's trying to kind of rescue Alistair.
Get the she's trying to like, she wants to know, but Alistair also fell so hard on his face that she can't leave him hanging like that.
But I will, okay, and this might be just the guy in me like going like, dude, I get it. But I do think it's he did fall on his face, but in a way that was like he rolled with advantage. Like there's like it was a step in the right direction.
Gwen's giving him a thumbs up.
Yeah.
If she could start computing again.
Yeah. She looks at Yukar and just goes, nothing. I mean, I have an old friend that I've been trying to catch up with for some time now, and they have been they've been dodging some of my calls. So
interesting.
Listen, I know that things have been rocky since your time here, and I don't think all of that is your fault. So I mean, Celeste is a really great town, and there are a lot of people here that are willing to help anyone in need. I am one of them, but I'm not going to pretend that I don't have other reasons for helping us get the ship. But truly, I don't think my things will get in the way of your things.
I have another question for you. I heard there's been someone asking about me around town. Red tiefling, perhaps?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've been they were here last night.
Huh.
They're not staying here as far as I know. But I mean, last thing I knew you guys were like looking around the bar where there's probably like one person here who is just like kind of going in and out. I know you were trying to be indisposed, so that's pretty much what I said. Actually, I said I didn't know who they were talking about. But yeah, someone's asking about you.
Did they give a name or a place to find them in case you wanted to tell them where I was later?
That's exactly what I asked, and they said no, and they walked out. So you got some really polite friends.
You don't even know the half of it. Thank you, Daphne.
You hear her mutter something under her breath in response to that.
Unless anyone has anything else, I think we're going to go for a hike in the woods.
Okay, be careful. Yeah, and I'd say with that, you guys head out. I think as you head out, I will say you notice you go out and you see the door being shut across the street as you see Barty kind of standing outside, just closing the door and just kind of stretching his arms out. Just sees you as they're passing by. Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Is there anything I can help you guys out with today?
No, I think we're just going to go for a little walk. Now that's day, because you said we can't do that at night anymore.
Yeah. That's at least until we figure stuff. But yes, thank you for remembering and helping us out. We're still working on it, just for the record. And you actually see like bags under his eyes. He probably hasn't slept very much either.
Have you guys ever run across those large alligator creatures before?
Siobhan glares at Alistair.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Hold on.
Nope, he never mentioned it ever at all. He never mentioned it.
Okay. Yeah. What strange alligator creatures?
Several people were discussing the events last night in the tavern, and there were a number of different stories. But one thing they had in common was some large reptilian beast A few mentioned though that it seemed almost humanoid, and I was just curious if there was any truth to it.
I mean, especially after the fact that we heard about. I mean, we all heard that voice yesterday or the day before. Do you have there been sightings of more monsters attacking the area?
My friends, I can't say much about an ongoing investigation. I can tell you that things have been weird here. From my limited resources, it seems like things are a little weird everywhere. So, I would say best advice: try to just stick together as much as possible, and be careful at night.
Of course.
Duly noted.
Just Barty, can I can call you Barty? Yes.
Please.
Just I know we just met, but just to make sure that you are aware, especially as difficult of a situation as you're in. I happen to be one of the best scientists in all of IMEA. If I, it's unimportant. If you would like me to, we are leaving hopefully today. But if you would like, I can come by and look at anything you have and offer any evidence and give you any of the professional insight that I may have.
Wow, that is that's very nice of you. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Can I guide him because I saw what he was doing?
Absolutely. Yes.
Guidance.
That's a 4.
D4, yeah.
Plus 3. All right, cool. So I think it's still plus 0. Yeah, it didn't change since the last time I looked. So that's an 11.
11. Okay. That's very nice of you, Mr.
Samil. Alistair
Yes.
Samil.
Apologize.
From
We
the Mortimer
actually.
Lewis.
Oh, you're from the Mortimer list. Oh, fantastic. So turns out there was a. We kind of sent a missive to a couple different areas around, just asking questions about who would know information on this. We got 2 back. Almost. It was very quick. Actually, I got to roll to see where that went. Okay. One of them was from your Ludus that was interested in having someone coming out and taking a look at it. Unfortunately, it was just like it was maybe a couple minutes before there was a return message from Hasamal asking to know more about this creature, and they actually they got there first, so I apologize, but it is no longer in my possession.
I'm sorry. You said Hasamal got here first? Because I'm here right now.
Yes. Well, it the body is not here. They were able to. Magic is a crazy thing. Well, look who I'm talking to. But they managed to be able to send something to be able to put the body into.
Okay, Barty. I thank you very much. Did you happen to get their names? The folks from Hasamal?
Yes. Hold on one second.
It's fine, Barty. We are about to head out on a walk. If you could just write it on a paper for me and leave it in our room, I would appreciate it.
Certainly. Yeah, I would be happy to help out anyone. Who is,
Thanks. And I turn and start walking.
Got it. Cool. as you head out, I believe, if I recall correctly, you rolled so good at understanding Gorm's directions that I said specifically, I'm not going to have you roll a survival check to get there. Does that ring a bell?
Mhm.
Is that
Yes.
okay? Cool, awesome. So I'll say, as you head northward, you do hear a voice from Barty that's just in the background at this point, like, "Hey, so where are you guys headed?" And it just travels further back. As you're heading away, that doesn't look to be normally traveled. You do pass by what looks to be a very odd looking, it almost kind of looks like a bait shop, but it's a little bit further back on the beach. You do pass by that. You pass by that building, and you go deeper into this. This sort of. I don't want to give away too much of what it was, but you go into this area of like this weird sort of connection between like palm trees and like what eventually becomes fully deciduous. But as you are traveling through, I would say you guys are traveling without having to worry about a survival check. And we'll say if you are trying to move as quickly as possible, the question is whether or not we want to do a group perception check or a group stealth check.
Siobhan's specifically looking out for Kelvin, or anybody who looks like they might run with Kelvin following them.
You got it. So would you want to be stealthy going through this? Or do you want to be perceptive?
Perceptive. She wants to keep an eye out for them.
Got it. So the idea here is basically where are you getting the advantage on? Okay. Does everybody agree? Stealth?
I thought we just said
What?
perception.
Perception.
We just said
Just
perception.
a perception.
whatever.
Yes.
I think
Whatever.
perception makes sense.
Yep. I mean, we're just going to see a
It
rock.
does.
I mean,
Yeah, and
It's
We
my
want to
game.
draw
You guys are
Kelvin.
rolling stealth. No. Yeah.
fair enough.
But I think we had discussed last time wanting.
I have
to
a
draw
higher
Kelvin
modifier
towards
in
us,
stealth, but
I have disadvantage.
right?
You got it.
Didn't we want to draw him towards us anyway? So I think perception.
yeah, actually that was part of the plan. If he
Yeah.
follows us out there, that will set us up to take him down in a less public area.
Okay, you got it. Cool. Then I will roll something for that.
Clinton,
On
do you
this
have a
on this
question?
walk, I'd like to create a small little raccoon buddy for me.
Finally.
Well,
Yay!
Yeah.
we can talk about him later,
Yeah.
but he.
I really want you to talk about him now, but I get it.
Oh no, it's fine. I can do it right now.
Say it right now. I gotta look some stuff up.
All right, great. So as we're walking, you'll see Alistair stop, and I'll see a stone on the ground that looks very nice, probably expensive. Pick it up, and as I start kind of rubbing on it, you'll see like weaves and strands of magic form, almost like a wire outline of a small raccoon. And then as the magic kind of settles, you'll see him start to grow from the inside out. You see the organs form, you see the bones kind of form, and then the muscles, and then slowly you see the fur kind of settle in. He's tiny. He's only like 6 inches tall. And then like once he's still alive, I'll turn around and kind of pet him, and then he'll run up my arm and then down the leg and take off in front of us.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, you see this weird. It's this in the idea of the size of it. It feels like it's like a cross between a mouse and a raccoon. In the idea of like it's the weird thing is when you see a mouse like walking with like arms and legs sometimes outstretched in weird ways, as raccoons walk in crazy different ways sometimes. I think you see him just walking on 2 legs, like just like full on, like doing the yeah.
He's waddling. Yeah,
you got it.
Is it-
Are you just sending him out ahead to perceive?
I not necessarily. Yeah, we can use him for perception, but it was just more like I just didn't want him right on me at this moment. I want him to be tactically not on me at this moment.
Is he like? Does he look like a real live like furry raccoon, or is it like more of a the artificer like mechanical or like?
So I've thought of it that it looks extremely realistic, but it has that almost uncanny valley animatronic feel to it. Like
Oh.
it's
The eyes
clearly
just look
not.
a little dead.
Yeah, it's clearly
Yeah.
not alive, but it looks alive. Bad
Cool.
CGI almost.
Yeah, I
All
like
them
it.
sillies.
Awesome.
Also, point of order. What did you do with Winona?
Oh,
I think
shit.
she's coming with us.
Yeah, we're not leaving her
Just
alone,
walk
are we?
really
I did
slow.
tell her that. Yeah, kind of.
We'll put her on
Stick
Fenrir.
with us.
Okay.
No, she's not allowed
Are
on
you
Fenrir
just-
anymore.
Are you putting
We'll
up?
not put her on Fenrir.
No.
She can. I will say before we left, I ritually cast my magical disc.
Okay.
Alistair's wheelbarrow.
Alistair's. Okay.
Alistair's wheelbarrow.
Okay. You're still doing the same thing where you're just like throwing a blanket over her head.
I mean, cloak, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We just try to make her look like a kid. As much
Okay.
as possible.
I will say, just for the record, because I don't know if I've explained this well, it is pretty much like you're carrying around America's Most Wanted. Like,
Yeah.
that is the level of intensity here on this. Now, granted, here is probably the best place to do that. I would say, like, if this person was to continue to travel with you to Dare's Wharf, you'd want to
Right.
find something probably a little bit more. But who knows if that's going to happen. Cool. All right. Yeah. So you see them. Okay. So just backtrack. You see this Barty kind of like waving to the little like bundle that's just like up there. You see just a finger it waves back. And you head out to moving through like a group perception check.
Right.
I got a 14.
With advantage. Sorry, with advantage.
Okay, good.
Well, in that case, for me, it'd be a straight roll. So I guess I'll roll it anyway.
That's better.
All right.
That's
Wow.
a 21.
21.
Gwen got a 17 minus 2 for 15.
15.
13.
13. Okay.
Actually, 13.
13.
22.
22.
What are you, a ranger?
23 for Alistair, 21 for Gear.
Oh,
For gear. Love it.
Houston's
Okay.
flying around, so I'll let him go too, because why not?
Yeah.
He's still an owl.
I will, just to make sure I'm following the rules here, and I can't communicate with him, so he would have
Right.
instructions that if he saw something, he could come back to me.
You got it.
Is this familiar rules?
No, because he's a homunculus servant, not a
Oh,
familiar.
so it's that one. Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Houston got a natural 20 for 23.
Okay. Cool.
Low
Heck
level
yes.
owl out there.
Little three-eyed owl.
Yeah.
You
Got those
see.
3 eyes.
Okay, cool, awesome. You see Houston. Let's say you guys are traveling for probably about 30 minutes. You see Houston kind of like flies up ahead. You see Houston comes back about 30 minutes later, carrying gear in its talons. Fully just drops gear on you, Alistair. Gear immediately starts like what is the equivalent of like chirping and making noises, but it only sounds like gears whizzing and like maybe like apostle like sort of like backed up sort of sound. Like you hear this like it's like stuck in like some place and then like pushes forward to where you're like all you perceive from that is like
Something.
for sure. Definitely something. I'm going to say with your 23, that's kind of what you get. Like it's going to be kind of built into that because Houston's going to fly up to Gwen's shoulder. And Gwen, can you communicate with?
Yeah,
Houston?
as long as it's within 100 feet of me, it can communicate telepathically, which I think in the past we've done is like visions of what you saw.
Cool, you got it. You see a vision of a stamped out fireplace and I'd say probably like a thinner looking tiefling putting on a pack and hearing rustling, turning and looking, and then moving off further into the woods.
Towards the direction
I'd say
we're
away
heading?
from that sound, away from that sound, which would be you guys.
So he's heading towards us.
No.
No.
Away from us.
Away from us.
Away from you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
In the same direction we're going towards the rock?
I'll say with the nat 20, you're seeing that, and I would say if you wanted to continue to perceive through Kusin's eyes where they end up, you could do so.
Let me just read that real quick. Yeah, I think I can perceive through his eyes further than he communicate with me. So, yes, I will.
Yeah. So as long as it's within like 60 feet, I'd say you're good.
I will hold on to Nalani because she can't see or hear when she does that. So,
gotcha. Very cool. Awesome.
Did you tell the group what you saw?
Yeah, I told the group and described the tiefling as Houston saw him.
The nat 20.
I don't know if owls see color.
Yeah, I think you just see a tiefling. But I will say specifically with the nat 20, Siobhan. That doesn't sound like Kelvin. They said specifically like thin, tall tiefling. So you just kind of take that, and that's because of the nat 20 that.
Yeah.
That Siobhan.
Did Houston notice? Did it seem like this tiefling was soloing it? Like, did he see? Like, was it a camp for one, or were there? Okay.
Camp for one. Yes.
All right.
This is great. I love that I can always see when Kiki just like gets on the same backstory thing. It's so funny. See your face pop up like, oh yeah, yep. Cool. So you are moving past, so you can hear the sound of the ocean kind of coming in again, where you see you kind of come to this like interesting sort of North Beach area, and you see it is heavily overgrown in as far as like the plants that could exist on the beach. You see the palm trees are kind of extending over. You notice in the distance as you're walking, you notice a very large looking. It doesn't necessarily look like a stone. It actually looks, if anything, it almost looks like two stones that are like kind of like leaning up against each other from the distance that you're at, which would be about, I say you're about like 300 feet from it.
You said, what did these two stones look like? Did they?
You're pretty far from it, so I'll say you just see two stones.
Okay. I think I'm pretty much absent-mindedly heading towards that direction.
You got it. As the rest of you start to follow, I need charisma saving throws from everybody.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Except for I.
That's pretty good.
Oh, except for me. Got it.
17.
That's my skill. I rolled an 8, but I have a +8, so 16.
Okay.
I got an 8.
Okay.
Total.
16.
I'm a bard.
I know.
Kiki, you're muted.
That would explain it. 3.
3. Fantastic. You all failed.
Oh god.
So,
okay.
So at this point, I will say, Alistair, you start to think in this moment, you look back and you look at Winona and start thinking, man, I don't know if it's pretty easy to see that that's a marsupial under there. And you start to just maneuver yourself over to the cart, and like you don't really tell anyone to like stop or halt or whatever. You just think this is the most important thing I need to be handling right now. Gwyn, you think about Gwyn, I'm gonna say you roll with advantage actually.
Okay. Well, that would be a 28 then.
Jesus.
The second roll is a 28.
Roll the natural 20 plus 8.
Holy cow, Jess.
Let's go.
Okay, so here's what I'll say what happens with Gwyn. Gwyn, you feel a sense of Jesus. You feel a sense of I think a sense of foreboding where you think back to man, I felt like I heard someone talking to me last night. And I'm just kind of remembering that now. But then in that frame of memory, you also look at like it also seems to be interrupted by the face of Beatty being just an asshole and like full on being like, you need to record everything.
Yeah.
And that supersedes. That's why I was giving you advantage of like because you've been like,
yeah.
You've been scolded. So you're able to kind of push through that, and you continue to follow with Io. I will say you probably noticed that everybody's stopped, but it's up to you whether you react to that.
That's true.
Yeah, actually she does. I rolled a 16. She notices.
You full on get preoccupied with a as I do with a like a clump of in Fenrir's wool that's like you've been trying to get out like passively this whole trip, and just in this moment you're just like, oh god, and you just get off Fenrir and start to like kind of like try to comb it out. Siobhan, you are just, I think you're fully lost in thought, because there's like the idea of like, okay, so who could it be in that? And I think you just kind of start to walk off in a random direction, not very far from the group, but you just are like, you notice everybody stops, but what you don't think about is like, why did we stop? You just take that moment to kind of stop and reflect. Nalani, I think you're perceiving okay, I think you hear the ocean as you see Io kind of walking towards it, and it reminds you of when you first met Io. And I think it was most likely possible, unless you guys have another frame of mind, I imagine it's a similar sort of sense in everything but sight. You smell the ocean, you feel the sand in like at your feet. There's a lot of things that just kind of like that connect you with that, and I think you're just lost in thought in that, is of the idea of like, where are we going? What are we doing? Was this really what we were originally supposed to be doing? Right? I'm going to follow Io no matter where he's going, but there's helping a friend, and then there's what we're doing. So that's my perspective of that, at least. Feel free to change it to whatever you want. And Io, you continue to move forward. I think Io, you do not notice that no one is following you.
I think Gwen would reach out and try to stop Io from moving forward as she notices the rest aren't following. And it feels more like somebody or something was trying to just distract them from going forward, as opposed to like violently keeping them away from this stone.
Yeah, it's I will say, because you rolled a 28, it feels like this is warded with something.
Okay. I think it wants you to go alone, Io, but I don't know if that is smart.
Well, the thing is, I don't really know if I have a choice. But any chance Huey can come with me?
Yeah, and she's gonna use prestidigitation. Is that the one I want? I don't want Tom 30. Yeah, we'll go with prestidigitation. Just going to one right after the other, sort of do like these sparkles in front of all of the distracted people's faces to get them to come to their, try to get their attention. And then she'll look back at Io and say, "We'll be right behind you, but if you want to do this, it feels warded against us."
Yeah, any other situation, I don't want to sound like no hypocrite, but I probably mouthed off to it last night, and this thing's dangerous. Remind me to write something to Dr. K when I get done.
Yeah, I have to do some writing of my own, so we'll do it together.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Then I think he pulls her in for a bit of a hug, just reassurance on his part, probably on hers as well.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an awkward hug, as I think there's part of your body that wants to be able to kind of like stay in this hug as you are almost feel like your body's being pulled forward in this.
Mm-hmm.
But Gwen, you let go and you kind of turn back to the group, who were all just like staring upwards or downwards or tearing at fur, like not tearing, but like viciously.
Yeah, more like when you have a.
Oops.
Oh, you were fine,
Good.
and then you muted yourself.
Good. I need a light to come on. When you have like, when you're like your headphone, like your earbud cables get all like tangled together and you're trying to like find the path back from one to the other and like just like really getting in there. Yeah.
Yep. So she's gonna keep an eye on Io, but keep doing the little sparkles and puffs of air to be as annoying as possible to get their attention back.
You got okay, I love that. Awesome. Cool. So as this happens, Io, you start to walk closer to the ocean, into this interesting looking obelisk in front of you. You hear the waves kind of crashing in, and you hear them slowly start to get muted as you get closer. The air around you starts to feel this is a very tropical climate, but it feels like it hits a whole new level of this heavy moisture in the air. As you get closer, you actually see that you almost feel like you can actually almost see droplets kind of collecting in this space that you feel like is only for you. From the back side of this, what you perceive to be the back side of this thing, you see that it looks like there are two stones that are that seem to be purposely placed here as they're kind of leaning on each other. But as you get closer, you actually see that it looks like they're connected at the top, almost in like a puzzle piece sort of way. And as you look down at the bottom, you see that the base of the base texture of the rock sediment underneath almost gives a feeling as if this is just one rock altogether, in a very imperfect O shape. You feel your throat start to tighten as you get closer to it. You reach out, or I mean, it's up to you, but I assume you kind of like reach out and touch it from the back, and you feel like a slippery substance, as if it's like covered in seaweed, but you see that it is bone dry. Do you move to the front?
Yeah, I think so.
You move to the front of this obelisk, and your vision starts to sort of like fade and fizzle and crackle. You are moving. You're moving past this thing and actually moving kind of like stepping backwards as you are staring at it, recognizing that it is so large that you have to kind of take a couple steps back to fully kind of get the idea of what it's looking like here. And as you're doing that, the vision itself kind of crackles like bad TV static in and out from your current space to being underwater and being on the ocean floor. And you see the same sort of obelisk like that part doesn't change, but everything around it, the environment, shifts back and forth. As you are looking at it and perceiving it, you see letters in primordial written out across this entire frame that you know is primordial, but you also know that you do not know that language. Looking at it, you see that there is the space where the hole is in the middle is the negative space, we'll say, is surrounded by the rock formations, looking like there is a large serpentine-like creature carved onto one that is following something that is that looks to be what's the word? It's not. You see that it's following this like squid-like sort of like cephalopod, and it's moving back into a space. If you don't know if one is following the other, but it is in the granite. It looks like they're in constant motion to each other, and you feel like as you're seeing the scene itself, the environment kind of like breaking in and out from there, you feel like you almost see them kind of turning. No, you definitely see them turning. And you see that turning start to go a little faster as you see blue starts to kind of fade in from the inner parts of the rock, a blue that you're very familiar with because you saw that last night. And the letters start to glow and change shape. You don't understand primordial, but you do understand deep speech. And you see the letters shift into the formation of deep speech as you get the name Granlotla. You see the blue start to fizzle in more, almost getting to the center, kind of connecting to each other. And you take one step back and you find that you are now touching the water on the shore. All of a sudden you feel the tide start to kind of pull you in. I need let's say a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. And oh, come on. Why are you doing that? Just need to know what modifier to add. Okay, that's a 18.
18. Fantastic. You start to kind of pull against the riptide that's pulling you out. You can feel the sand kind of move out all around you. The eye itself starts to kind of become bigger to you. Tell me what you do in this moment.
So, what's the point of this? And I think as I just try to, I guess, jump away.
Okay. You feel like if you were to take a step back, you're going to get closer into the water. And you're fighting already to the sense of this. Like you're almost getting pulled out to sea right confused. Now. So you rolled high enough to, I'll say in this case, tell me, give me a badass moment in this.
Gotcha. I think actually instead, psionically kind of just push myself out of the water, pushing myself forward towards, towards the blue orb, because I guess that's what's in front of me.
You got it. You push yourself forward from the sand, trying to get this almost in this space. It almost like feels like it turns into almost a psionic leap as you lurch forward into the eye, and you fall flat on your face as you move through the eye into the ground, and everything pulls back into normal. But you are left with that name, Grenlatla. As this is happening, Kiki, roll me a perception check.
$19.
19. Awesome. You feel a figure approaching behind you. Sneakily.
She's gonna wait till they're fairly close, then spin with her dagger at roughly neck level, but she's not gonna try to injure her or him or whoever, but she's just trying to like grab. She's gonna try to grab if they're pulling a weapon on her and hold her dagger up.
You got it. You almost get the sense of like an arm that's like coming upwards towards your back. So we'll say if you want to like judo throw them, you could.
Yeah, she's gonna judo throw them, and then like spin around and like sit on top of them essentially and hold her dagger. Just straddle them and hold her dagger to their neck.
Love it. Yep. Straddle them, maybe you knee to a chest. You put a dagger right, facing the opposite way to their neck. As you look down at, I have looked at it 20 times and I already forgot. As you look down at Falco Alter, as they are looking up at you and going, okay, good. You still have it.
Falco.
And with that, we're going to end tonight's session.
I'm so excited.
What do you guys think I'm always... Oh, this is right after I did all that shit to Io. What do you guys are so like... Everybody that's coming after us is bad. Oh, sorry, we're still on the stream. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.